911, what is the emergency?
Innocent 6-year-old Isabel Celis.
I didn't even come and check on her. I should have come and checked on her.
Kidnapped right through her bedroom window in the dead of night.
That's every parent's worst nightmare.
Who's to blame for this little girl lost? Or is it here, in newly uncovered security footage shot the night she disappeared? Tucson, a sleepy southwestern community. Hot days, cool nights, the occasional sandstorm during monsoon season. But a different kind of storm would cloud this desert oasis on an early April morning. One that would surround a family of 5 and take a little 6-year-old girl with it. That girl is Isabel Celis, the baby of the family, adored by her parents, Becky and Sergio, and her 2 older brothers.
She has her brothers around her fingers, so whatever she wanted them to do, they did. And she loves to paint, she loves to color and do things like that. And baseball, she loved playing baseball.
It was just after 11 p.m. on April 20th when Becky laid out Isabel's softball uniform for her game the next morning. Then kissed her spunky daughter goodnight.
I'm like, okay, Isabel, you're getting really tired. It's probably time for you to go to bed, and you have to get up early, and so does Mom.
In the Celis' quiet suburban neighborhood, there isn't much to disturb their sleep. But that night of April 20th would be the last peaceful rest they'd ever have. Sometime between 11 that night and 8 the next morning, everything changed. Sergio goes to wake up Isabel for her softball game, but finds her bed empty.
Boys are waking up at this point, and so I'm like, do you know where your sister's at? And they're like, no. And started looking everywhere, and then started saying, boys, help me find her. I don't know where she's at.
Sergio and his sons frantically search the house and yard. Then, Sergio's son comes to him with startling news.
And I'm looking in the garage, and that's when Sergio came running in, saying, Dad, her screen's laying on the back, you know, her window's busted out.
Sergio races to the backyard. To his horror, he sees Isabel's bedroom window is wide open. The screen is pulled down. It looks like someone reached right through her window and snatched little Isabel out of her bed.
Kind of, you know, freaking out at this point, came back in here, called Becky at work.
I can't remember the drive at all. I just know that I was freaking out and scared, and I just out of my mind.
In her 911 call, Becky can barely hold it together.
So who noticed her gone? Your husband?
My husband. I went to work this morning at 7, and I didn't even come and check on her. I should have come and checked on her.
Okay, we're almost there, ma'am, okay?
Tucson police go on high alert, collecting evidence and interviewing everyone. The Celis' next-door neighbor tells our affiliate, KOLD, she heard 2 male voices at 6 a.m.
Didn't hear her. I heard, you know, a couple male voices right outside my bedroom window, right outside her bedroom window.
In the backyard, police discover a set of work boot footprints near an electrical box and on top of a gas meter. But then, a shocker. Suspicion takes a turn that leads closer to home.
Law enforcement is going to look at the family very closely whenever a child goes missing. Statistically, 3 in 4 cases, that usually plays some sort of role. A lot of people pointed very definitively at Sergio.
Yes, Sergio, Isabel's very own father. It all started with the 911 calls. Remember the panic in Becky's voice?
I didn't even come and check on her. I should have come and checked on her.
Now, listen to Sergio.
Hello, I need to report a missing child. I believe she was abducted from my house.
Sergio made that call at 8 a.m., immediately after discovering his precious 6-year-old daughter is missing.
Is Mom there also?
She had just left for work. I just called her and I told her to get her back home.
And that really set a lot of people off. When they heard these tapes, they heard a father who apparently had just lost his little girl and somebody perhaps had broken into his house and taken her, and you hear a man chuckling in a 911 tape.
Sergio says at first, he couldn't bring himself to believe his little girl had been taken.
I didn't want to be frantic. I didn't want to be panicked. I wanted to be as articulate as I could. You know, I didn't want to be misunderstood.
Days, weeks, months go by as the Celestes wither under public scrutiny.
What do you say directly to the people who are assuming in some shape or form that you played a role in your daughter's disappearance?
Nothing. I mean, I really don't know what to answer to that, because other than you're wrong.
Suspicious behavior? Maybe. But Sergio has never been named a suspect.
All the family members have been interviewed, and we haven't ruled anybody out.
Next, Isabel's father gets his own private investigator, and he points the finger at another family member.
This same individual shipped his car off to another state, then hired one of the best lawyers in Tucson, and bingo, another red flag.